right, Jangchup, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. So we've been friends for a long time,
Very long. It's like I think more than 10 years now.
more than 10 years. That's crazy. But we never had the talk about how your childhood was in India. How
Oh
was it?
yeah, because we haven't spent like childhood days in India together. Unlike you and some other friends, you've been to the same school and stuff, right?
Right.
I was from I was born in Kullu Manali, like as a state in a state of Himachal Pradesh, not part of India. It's the gateway to Ladakh and stuff like that. If you want to go for a motorbike, the people do these days. So you have to cross the Manali. It's a touristic place. And my mom used to do like a garment business. We used to own like 3 shops, something like that, of the sweaters and stuff in the touristic area. And my childhood were mostly into, I would say, like I was very um, how do you say, like a very how do you say, studious. I was very good in studies, actually.
Studies, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was always like one of the top ranked students of my classes.
So you were the
Always.
nerd.
I was not like a really nerd. I was like, I never used to study that much. I would say I was very bright.
Okay.
Like if you teach me something in the class, I don't have to repeat it again and again. In the examination, I can imagine the teacher in that of that day in the class, what she said in the class.
Wow.
My memory was really good. And few the how is a big amount of the big phase of my childhood was in hostel, like most of the Tibetan students here. I went to the Buntur hostel, Tibetan school, after my 5th grade. So from the 6th, you have to change the school from Manali. So in Manali, you have only from like a nursery till the 5th. And then from 6 to 10, you have to go to this school called Buntur. It's also under Sambota organization. So there, I was also pretty much good in the studies there. I was always the like a school captain, the monitor of the class. But if you ask someone like who is the most naughtiest or who is the most like the shoutiest or something like that, it was always my name.
Yeah, I can see that.
The one who makes the most fun in the class, it was always me. Even when I became the monitor, I never had this rule of like, I'm gonna give your name to the teacher. I was always like, do something, but then don't let me see it.
Oh,
And I was
that
like,
type of-
if I'm in the trouble, then you're in the trouble. Don't put me in the trouble. Do whatever you want to do it.
Oh, okay.
you know, I would say my childhood was very fun. Always like surrounded by friends, a lot of friends. And very good friends. I still have a contact with them. We still have a group chat. Everybody's getting wedding one by one. Some are like getting babies and stuff. Everybody doing very well in the academic and then family matters. And then after 10, then you have to choose the stream, like subject. So being the bright student, I chose for the science.
Science.
Of course. And then the science was you had to move in Mussoorie. Move to Mussoorie. It's in now that is close to the Uttarakhand. I think it's under the Uttarakhand, so it's near to the Dehradun and stuff like that. Those areas. It's also a hill station, also a touristic place. Not really different from the Manali, but slightly different still. And then I went there on 11th and 12th. So 11th I did there. And after 11th, I came to Belgium. So Mussoorie was the phase of my life where I've done many other things than just studying. I was not that really bright in class anymore. I was literally bunking school every time. And I remember I haven't sat in some of the subjects like for a whole year. I was always outside eating something, playing with something, going around doing stuff like that. So I would say like my puberty was quite, the teenage time was quite different than the childhood, I would say. And after that, I got to learn many things. and being raised by a mom who is really open-minded and always supporting you, like always saying that if you dream something, dream big and just do it.
Wow.
You need support, I'll support you. But she used to trust me like blindly. Like if I say I'm going to this place, I need that much money, she would always give me more than that. You know, so I would say like kind of like a spoiled, you know, misusing those money and stuff on the teenage.
Oh.
On one side, you kind of regret of doing those things, but from other side, those are the things that made me what I am today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, otherwise I would be one of the other kids. I was following the path that everybody has shown. Like you have to follow this path. You're in this age. You have to do this, do that. Because of those phase of my life, my mindset had became like, there's never a time to do something, or you know, like to decide something. You can do anything in your life and any time of your life. So nothing makes me feel like, oh, he's 40 and he's still not married. I'm never surprised about that. If someone says like he's single for his whole life, I'm never surprised about that, because the mindset becomes so open when you encounter so many things in your life. You know.
Right.
I think that helps a lot for me, for my personality. But also at the same time, there are other students who are always being the one, the example student.
Yeah.
Their life is also very good. I wouldn't say that you should do what I did. Everybody works with a different, I think, a different system. You know.
Right.
So my system was that probably.
That's a good point. Because of your mom being open-minded, you also turned out to be someone who's open-minded.
Exactly.
And like you mentioned, there's no one right way of doing things. You know, you can also
Exactly.
be a student and then have a good life, but also, not go the traditional way and also have a good life.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So after that, you came to Belgium. And
Yeah. After that, I came to Belgium. My mindset, my dream was like when you got the news that, oh, I'm going to move to Belgium, to Europe. I imagine like it's gonna be like a New York, you know, like big buildings, like a Manhattan,
Yes,
Queens, and stuff like that. People rapping and all. I came here and then I felt like, man. So we moved to Antwerp first. Antwerpen was my first city. You know, my dad used to live there. So when we came here to Antwerpen, it was surrounded by, I would say, like a lot of Turkish shop, Moroccan shop, and stuff like that. And the buildings are not high. Everything looks like quite small. And coming from India, it was a huge country, and also moving everywhere in India all the time with your family. You know, you're always being in big cities. And then suddenly you're in a city where after 6, 7 p.m. there's no one on the street. It's kind of a bit, I wouldn't say upsetting, but so challenging to adapt with that kind of routine. You know, that you have to sleep in this time, you have to wake up in this time, and like that. And like every other immigrant kids, I had to learn the language also here.
Right.
It was quite hard in the beginning, but then later it became like a piece of cake. You know.
Being a bright student.
Absolutely.
Piece of cake.
It came back, you know, the learning phase.
So you went to high school in Belgium.
Yeah.
If your friend had to describe you in high school, how would they describe you?
I don't know, man. In high school, if my friend would describe me, so I went to the high school here in Bruges, okay? And I was like the favorite student of some of the teachers. Because my assignment, my project were always on time. And but same time, I was always like you know, kind of like a two-faced person. Like in the school, I'm like very obedient. I'm doing everything, but when the school finishes, You will find me somewhere in the bar or with the other kids, like doing other stuff, because the high school subjects were not that hard for me to study, and it was done in like a few minutes, and I didn't need a lot of effort on it. But then I also worked. I also did like a lot of student jobs and stuff during my high school days. So if friend would describe me, I think they would describe me as like a very mature person. Yeah, I think so.
Why do you think that is?
Because I had this like calculation in my mind for this work, for this task. You don't need to work that much. You need only that much of energy, and I would do that, and then I will take care of the rest, other things. And that's why the study-wise, it was all in perfectly done, and also my pocket money, the family time, the friends outside of the school was also like perfectly on their places. So I was not like the student who would who was top in the class, but then at the home he's always alone. He has no friends, the family problem, or he cannot find a job like that. So everything was like on time, on places, like I said, I was raised with parents like that, with that mindset. Like there's no like nervous or shame of going into the restaurant asking for a job. In my case, if I needed a job, if I needed some money to spend some money on a new year, I would just go in a restaurant and say, "Oh, you need someone to wash dishes or something? I will do it for 2 days or 3 days," and then I used to do that. So it was quite easy.
Okay, so what were the traits that you learned from your parents?
It's my mom used to tell me something I still remember from my childhood days. No matter what happens in your life, the show must go on. You have to get up always. You have to finish the job. You have to finish your promises.
That's a good one.
Anything can happen, like anything, literally anything. But then getting up and working again, and then doing for yourself and stuff like that this is the biggest trait I think that I got from my mom, which helps me a lot. Even in the very difficult times later after the school, when I started the restaurant and everything, that hit me always. That gave me always like a motivation of going back and doing it again and again. If I'm failing one, twice, thrice, or fourth time, fifth time, I would still get up and do it. But I will try in different ways,
Right.
like that.
From my perspective, you are also someone who is very proactive, and you are, I would say, extroverted as well.
Yeah.
So I always wondered, were you always like that from when you were a kid, or did something change?
So my mom used to have a shop, right? Like a sweater shop. And on my holidays and my vacation, I used to sit on the shop. Unlike my other friends, their parents' mindset were always like, okay, you're studying, you will not come to the shop, you will focus on your studies. But in my mom's mindset, she was like, you have to have the experience of talking with the people and knowing the calculation, knowing the business. This is very important for you. So she used to forcefully put me in a shop to handle the money and stuff like that, even on my very childhood, like very young ages. So I think that made me very extrovert. Like if people come to the shop, in India, you have to talk with them. The customer will, they're very different customer in India in those days. So I think that helped me a lot. I think probably I just grew up with that.
Right.
Like I never had the thought about am I extrovert or introvert. Later on, in the school, when we learn about those terms, and then I got to know, okay, and I never had this like a training or something to become an extrovert.
You naturally became one because you had to talk with the customers at the shop. But it's very useful now with your later job as a cabin crew and also now starting a restaurant, you have to be
Absolutely.
very good socially and be extroverted. I remember we went to Basic Fit, and at that time you mentioned you wanted to join the cabin crew at
Yeah.
Qatar.
Yeah,
You were about to do the interview.
exactly.
What inspired you to choose that job?
So actually, when we came to Belgium, the financial status is not that good compared to what we had in India. So here, my dad was doing this like 9 to 5 job, only 8 hours a day, and then the mom couldn't find a job because of the language barrier. And I had to go to school, and because of my language, it was really hard for me to get a job. I used to enter any restaurant to ask for the job, and they would always say, "Oh, we will call you," but I never get a call. So, and you're in Europe, and then you're with the different people from the different background and different countries, and automatically in your mind it's like, "Oh my God, I want to see that country," I want to travel there as well, and. So that phase got into me like, I really want to travel. I really want to be a traveler, like explore many places and stuff. And with that kind of financial background in my family, I cannot ask my parents like, okay, can you give me 1 year some money, and then I just want to travel. And there were some students who were taking this gap year, they were traveling somewhere else. And I thought, okay, if I go to the college, I will be stuck there for 3 years, and after that, I will get a job. I'm sure I will get a job because I have the talent. I will get a job, and then I'm stuck there forever. So I thought I have to find a job, or I have to find a way, so where I can travel, and I can do whatever I want to do in my life right now, and then we'll see later on what happens. I'll find a way. So I was searching, like, okay, what job gets you to travel around the world? And there were like some possibilities, like you do exchange student, you can travel there, you can live there, but that also costs a lot of money.
Right.
And there were also something like you work in a cruise ship, and that was very exciting for me as well. But then that job needed some training and stuff, and also when you were in the cruise, you will be in the cruise for like a month, let's say. Or weeks, like I think you hardly get to travel that much. What I wanted, I cannot sit in a box. And then this cabin crew job came out because I was watching some kind of vlogs and stuff on YouTube, and then there was this guy who was working with Emirates, and then he is traveling around the world. He is going on this like some kind of a hiking in Japan, or like in South Korea and stuff like that. He's traveling in China, eating some food. It inspired me a lot. I felt like I'm seeing myself doing that. That guy could be me. And then I started doing research, like what airline is hiring people who can speak English, has done this kind of studies, and what are the what do you say this things that you needed to get this job, and then I found Qatar Airways. It was growing airline, one of the leading airline in the Middle East, hiring a lot of people around the world, doing some interviews in Brussels and Paris and all. So I thought, okay, if they are doing interviews in Brussels and Paris, that means they have the knowledge of the basic amount, the wages of the Europe country. So I'm sure I will get at least the basic one, And then I started doing more and more research about the Qatar Airways job, the cabin crew job, how it is, how much you will earn, because these are very important, right? The money and stuff. And then I told my mom, like, I'm gonna earn that much money if I get that job. And my mom was like, oh, that's very nice, actually. If you want to do it, just do it.
Wow.
And then I said, okay, I'm gonna do it, but then I have to drop the college. And my mom was like, oh, can you not do it after the college, maybe? I said, after the college, I will become like maybe 25, 26, 27 or something like that. And then it's not the right time for me to travel and take a risk. I want to have a permanent job. I want to settle down then after that. Because right now my dream is that, to travel. At the age of 27, maybe my dream will become something else. I want to settle. I want to get a good job here. So my mom was like, okay, do whatever you want to do, but then believe in yourself, and then if you do a mistake, no problem, come back and then continue your studies.
Wow.
And then on a Valentine's Day in Paris, I don't remember which year is it, probably, I went to this interview in Paris. And that day I got a job. There were I think around 1,000 people giving the interview. I think it was a Hilton hotel. I remember, somewhere near the La Défense. So I got the hotel near the La Défense in Ibis budget. And when I woke up next day, I forgot that I didn't pack my hair gel.
Ooh.
So grooming is very important for this kind of job. I was doing a lot of research about that. You have to put your hair like this and that. So I set my hair with the Vaseline.
Vaseline?
Yeah. I set my hair with the Vaseline, and then I just left for the interview.
That worked?
Yeah, bro, that worked. My hair was not that long that day, and I just left there to the interview. I saw a lot of people around, and then being like the social person, I started talking with other people also. There was one guy from South Korea, and he was so nervous. He said he traveled from South Korea to here for this interview.
Wow.
Because they heard that if you give an interview in Europe, there's a high possibility of getting the job than giving interview in South Korea. There are more candidates in South Korea, probably. And then there were some people who were currently working that time with the Swiss airline, with the British Airways, with the Air France, and on their holidays or stuff, they're doing this interview, giving the interview. And so I gave the interview, and then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get this job for sure because it's so hard. I mean, there are like so many good people, and if I'm the person who is taking the interview, I would select those people who had experiences, And they're doing like round, different rounds.
Oh.
So first round is like just a few seconds, how do you say, like speed date. You just go and then introduce yourself, that's it. You give your CV, your picture and stuff. So they will give you the number when after giving the speed date, after introducing yourself, And then after that, there were like thousands of people in that hall, conference hall. And then the one lady will stand up and then she will say the number. So if you hear your number, you're still in the round, in the test. If you don't hear your number, you're out. There's no feedback time, nothing. You just go out then. Try next time. And I heard my number. And I was like, wow, man. So from that 1,000 people, they shortlisted around like, something around like 200 people or something like that. Right? Like, just like that.
Yeah.
I don't know on what basis. But then I check around, there were like a lot of diverse people who were left. And then after that, they will give you like a teamwork, or something like that. Or they will give you an English exam and a general exam. They are testing the knowledge of your English and then like some bit of a mathematics and then the science and stuff like that. Like for example, how the airplane is made and stuff like that, which material are used. So those things I have learned in my science school in India. Like those little basic things, the evaporation and stuff like that, about the weather, climates and stuff. And after that, again, they will say some numbers where if you hear your number, you're still in. And then after that, if you don't, you're out. And after that, it was like a group, the team, how do you say this? The group tests. So they will put you in different group and they will give you a prop. For example, they gave us like a bucket. So
Bread?
A bucket.
A bucket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you have to tell them, you have to come out with the ideas about like how you can use this bucket. Like for example, you can say, I can use this bucket to collect the water if it rains. I can use this bucket to go for shopping, to put some stuff. So like, actually they're not I think they're not checking how creative you are. They're actually checking how you're playing with your team. because they are going around and around when we are doing discussion and stuff like that, you know. So that's more important, I think. And after that, I got my name again, and then we were like about, I think, around 50 or 40 people in the hall after that.
40.
And then we did the final round. That is like one-on-one interview. They will give you some situations and stuff. And they will ask you when you can join and all this thing. That was on the next day.
Okay.
So next day, they were saying like, they were giving you the time first. They will say like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., like that. But I got a time like around like 5 p.m. But my bus was around like 3 p.m. from Paris to Bruges, and I had to come back because next day I had a job, I had to work. And I told them, for me it's a bit hard to be at 5 p.m. because at 3 p.m. is my bus and I have to go back. Is there any other chances that I can do something? And then she said, if you can go and talk with this girl to exchange, to swap your timing, if she agrees, then you're lucky. If not, then I'm so sorry. Then you may have to come back later somewhere else. Thank God, I went to this girl and I asked her. She said, "Oh, no problem. If you have a bus, go. I'm from Paris. I can go back later. I don't have to wake up early then."
Nice.
I was so happy, you know, that day. And then I just went there. I gave my interview, and then they were so happy with me. And then 1 week later, I got an email. They said, "Congratulations, you got a job." And then they called me that same day also, saying, "Congratulations, you got a job. Now we want you to do some medical tests, your eye tests and stuff. Fill up that form. Prepare yourself. In 1 month or like a month or two, you're coming to Qatar."
Wow.
And from that day, I was like, "Oh my God, what is happening right now? I have an idea how this country looks like, how the city looks like. I don't know anyone there. What is gonna happen to me there?" And there are like, you know, misconception about the Middle East of it's gonna be deserted area, and then you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you know, like stuff like that, the very religious and extreme way. And I was thinking, okay, if that is true, what is the worst situation there? Okay, I may get arrested because I'm not the one who's gonna follow the rules most of the time. I may get arrested, and then what? They will deport me back to Belgium, and then I will still my same life here. You know, I have no problem. And I just went there. I remember on that flight that day, it was somewhere around September, I think. I reached Doha. I reached my apartment. There were like very fancy car came to pick me up. I was there with another guy from Czech Republic. His name is Peter. He was there with a guitar, I remember, at the airport. And we both entered that car, and then our luggages are already moved to our apartment. And they brought us to apartment, and then I saw an apartment like fully furnished. There are welcome packages, some money on my pocket to start with, and then the SIM card. They said, "Call your mom or dad right now in front of me. Tell them you're here. You have reached safely." And I did that, and then they were so happy. I even did video call my mom. And then after like, and then my flatmate came. He was from Sri Lanka, Akmal. A very nice guy. I still remember. I still have a contact with him. He's already married now. So he came, and then we, you know, we started cooking together. Became very close, like right away, because everybody in that phase, in that situation, are like probably most of the people has the same personality. You know, like you know, most of them, they're all very extrovert. They're all really eager to learn about other culture. So it was really nice to tell each other about our cultures and stuff. Tibet was like for them, wow, where is this? You know, like, what is this? Which country is
Not
this?
a lot of people
and
know.
being a Tibetan who is born in India, grew up in India, and grew up in Belgium, having the Belgian passport, working in Qatar, for them it was like, wow, this book I've never read. You know, something like that. And I could speak Hindi. There were like Indian guys. I could speak Hindi with them. There were also some Dutch guys. I would speak like, you know, Dutch with them. It was so funny with them, you know. And then I started my training after 3 days. It was an intensive, very intensive training for like a month and a half. You have to literally learn word by word. Like the book is that big, and they're not one book. They're like 6 books.
Damn.
You have to learn the word by word, and I have never studied that hard in my entire life. Even in the college year, I've never studied that hard in my entire life, as much as I did in that training. You know, I used to learn the whole night. I used to write down again and again, so that I will know the term. Thanks to the education system in India, because of the English knowledge and stuff, you know, and the way how we study in India, like we really learn things by our from our heart. You know, we have to learn word by word also in India, and that helped me a lot to learn a lot of things. So I did my training, I did my job. It was nice. I traveled, I think, more than 50 countries.
50.
More than 50 countries.
Damn, that's a lot.
That 50 I can count. I cannot count some of the countries because maybe I'm forgetting them. So the 50 countries I've tried so many food, worked with many different people, like many different backgrounds, and like the small thing, like the people from different countries, they have a different way of counting things, like 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, like this kind of things, like no is no or no is no, like that, like different kind of things, you know, like culture, and that I never thought that I will learn those things. My focus was all on traveling, having fun. You know, my gap year was that. But I don't know, because of my personality, it just got me so curious about learning more and more every time. How long I was there, every day there was something new to learn.
Right.
So it got me very interesting to do that, you know, and I did it for like almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah.
What did it change your perspective on life? Because you've been to a lot of places now.
A lot, you know, like back in before that job, my mindset was only about like you know, when you travel, I don't want to travel alone, I want to travel with somebody else. If I want to travel alone, I should be mountain or something like that, you know, to hike alone like that, you know, like a movie. But and also like culture wise, how you judge people, like that's the reason I would never judge people from first impression. Like even today in the interview, the girl, she, if you check the in how do you say, like technically, she's not the right match for this position. But being in her shoes, like many years ago when we came to Belgium, I don't know the language. The restaurants, they were not giving me job, but I know 100% sure in myself, like I can work this, I can do this job, you know, like because I need money and I need a job and I want to enter somewhere. So I need to start.
Right.
And that's very important, you know. And being in her shoe, I could imagine how she's feeling, and then I know that the person who is that much eager to find a job, despite the language barrier, she knows that it's going to be a challenge for her to going to the table and taking the orders every time, and she has to do this whole time here. Still, she wants to do the job. She's not sitting in her comfort zone.
Right.
So that's why I thought, okay, you know, I always give them a second chance. I always give them like a trial, like a week or 2 weeks, or something like that. And I think that is enough time for me to know about your personality, your motive, how useful you are to me in terms of in the restaurant. So that in that perspective, it helped me a lot, that job, you know. And then also the acceptance of having friends of different background, like different attitudes. It is so easy to mingle with those kind of people. Like it's so easy to work with a different background of people right now for me.
Right.
Yeah. For example, how I would know that if I didn't have traveled there, how would I know that the Malaysian people, they love spicy also? There are a lot of Indian people also. How would I know that in Singapore they don't speak Mandarin, they speak Cantonese? You know, like those kind of things. How would I know that, you know, in South Korea, when they smoke, they sit down? Like those small things,
interesting.
you know, like you will learn those things when you travel to those country, you will work with those people. You know, in Kenya, Mombasa, they also eat samosa and paranta and roti. Can you imagine? This is their traditional food.
They also watch Bollywood films. I've
Absolutely.
heard, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's so
Interesting, huh?
crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was so amazing for me, you know, to learn those kind of things. And in China, I traveled there. Many people doesn't know about Tibet. They know about Xinjiang or Xinjiang. I don't know how you call that.
Zhejiang, yeah.
Yeah, and they are so happy how they're living.
Yeah.
You know, they don't care they're communist or dictatorship or democratic. They're making tons of money doing the restaurant and then bar, and the people are drunk, having fun. They have a WeChat, they can pay everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, how would you know, like, without traveling there? You know, like, if I've never traveled there, I would always think like China is gonna be full of like military, like people has no right and stuff. They're not happy, but they're actually happy, you know. In the political view, the cultural view, everything changes when you travel, I think. When people ask me, "Do you hate China?" I love China, man. I love their culture. I love their history. I love their food. But the politically way, I am not in the position of talking with them to get to resolve the issue. But of course, the human rights and all this thing, that's what we are fighting for. That's why there's a flag of Tibet in my restaurant, because we are proud to be Tibetan. We want to keep our culture and language. Yeah.
It's a good point. The Chinese people I've met when I was traveling, I was always scared they hate Tibetans.
Yeah, right.
But they love it.
Of
They
course.
even travel to Tibet. They love the culture. They were so welcoming, but we had this fear that
Exactly.
they hate us. But it's not like that.
Yeah,
They
true.
love it, and Chinese people are one of the kindest people I've met when traveling. So you wouldn't know that if you just listen to the news and
Exactly.
not travel.
Come on, news always 90% is negative. Yeah.
So would you recommend people travel more, and why?
Of course. I think traveling is the only way to know yourself, to get out of your comfort zone. And you shouldn't think about like the guy is traveling because he's into culture or into food or into ticking the bucket list. It's about knowing yourself. It's about your self-discovery. We always talk about what I like. For example, I like to travel. I like to swim. I like to do that. In the job also, like I like to talk with people, but I don't like to sit in the kitchen. We never talk about like what you don't like. The moment you start doing, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't do this, I can't do this. You know, the possibilities of how do you say this? The form of your personality, it becomes more and more clear. It goes more and more narrow down to like what I can do then, what I like then, and then you can just focus on that. I think by traveling around the world and then doing something out of your comfort zone will help you in that perspective.
Right.
So yeah, like a self-growth.
Self-growth, for sure. Especially if you're doing solo traveling. You learn a lot about yourself. And
Absolutely.
you're on your own, so you have to figure everything out on your own. And then also, you have to put yourself out of your comfort zone, talk to people, and that way, like you mentioned, you grow as a person as well. So for me, traveling to Asia, doing solo traveling, I would also recommend people to travel more, especially when you are younger.
Absolutely.
Try solo traveling. I know it's scary in the beginning. I was also scared to do solo traveling, but you make so many good memories and friends. It's such a beautiful experience. I would highly recommend people to travel more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting.
And then after a couple of years of doing cabin crew, before that, what lessons or skills did you learn doing that cabin crew job? Because it's not always easy to, work with the passengers. I'm sure you have developed some skills.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I have this switch in my brain. I learned that by practicing it a lot and a lot. Like, for example, there's so many rush, so many crowded, so crazy stuff going on around. Okay, I'm like in the worst mood of my life. I can't talk with people probably. I'm still doing my work. Once I'm landed, my mind is switched. You know what? I'm gonna go to the bar. I'm gonna enjoy my beer, and I'm going to the party because I was craving for that place. I'm not gonna think about my work anymore. I'm not. It made me a kind of person like I'm not gonna sit with the same mood all the time. You know. And also the skills I would say the in the language wise. You have to speak in English with everybody, right, in their job. And understanding the different accents. There's no like, you know, if you speak a Thai accent or Chinese accent, it's a or Indian accent. It's not about. It's not like the knowledge of English is less. Their vocabulary might be bigger than the one who is speaking English as a native language speaker. You know. So you don't look at the accent. From accent, of course, I will know straightforward like where you're from. Also by, you know, when I see the people, for me it's very easy to to guess where they're from, because I've been working with this kind of people, right, a lot. And that's it. What else? The hospitality.
Hospitality.
Very useful right now for me. So useful. The choice of words, the body language, eye contact, and then you know, how to say, profiling people like customers. I can tell. Sometimes I can tell people by seeing, looking at them, like, you know, no, he's gonna eat spicy, like that kind of things, you know, like. So yeah, that those are the skills. It's very useful for me right now, I would say.
So you did that for
Almost 3 years.
three
Yeah.
years, yeah. And after that, you came back. Then, what made you decide to start a restaurant?
So remember when we came to Belgium, because of all this language barrier and stuff, the financial problem and all, Mom and I, we decided to sell dumplings, the momo from the home, you know, like
I
everybody
remember.
used to love
Oh,
our
man.
momo.
During high
Like,
school, yeah.
it was like a spot to eat there, you know,
Yeah,
like, and so from those days, the food became the what do you say this, like the best mean for us to make some money. And it kept us busy doing stuff, and then being the businesswoman as my mom, she always had this in her mind, like she wants to do business and stuff, you know. And being her child, and I grew up in her shadow, the business has always stayed in my blood, you know. Always wanted to do business and all. And working as a cabin crew, working with like a, how do you say, like one of the best service giving in the air, you know, like an airline, the hospitality and the way of doing stuff, automatically it comes in your blood, like, okay, you know, in this line I can do, I'm so confident that I can sell anything right now, like this kind of stuff. You get the confidence in yourself. And and starting a restaurant, I told my mom, you know, it was your dream to open a restaurant, to do a business, and then the biggest business right now in Bruges, or I think in Belgium, I think one of the biggest and most run business is actually the food and beverages. You know, so we said, you know, in this line, we know we have a knowledge, we have experience. Let's do it. And I have a little bit knowledge that I've gathered around from my job and stuff, and thanks to my choices that I made before in the college, I studied also business, you know, and that helped me a lot with the paperwork, and then the mindset of the taxes, and how the rules and regulations going around in the business world here. it helped me a lot to understand those things. You know, if I get a paper or something from the government, I would understand this properly and I know what to do. Of course, I did a lot of a mistake in the beginning of the phase of the restaurant, but then later on, you got to learn easily once you have the little bit of knowledge and experiences. Uh, we decided to. So we thought about opening a Belgian restaurant, the Flemish restaurant, because my dad is a Belgian chef. And from the experiences of other Tibetan restaurants in Belgium, I thought, okay, if you open a Tibetan restaurant, you will never make money, because the value of the food is actually put so low by most of our Tibetan people. And I think it's not because of they're full or something. They're so generous, they're so polite, they're so humble, and they're so scared to ask money from other people. And putting value on your product is not like scamming other. I think it's giving value for your own self, which everyone must do it if you're confident enough of your product, I think. And I thought, okay, we are confident enough of our product. We know our product is very good in quality. You know what? I'm gonna put money on it, and then doesn't matter what people think. They're gonna say, "Oh, you know, you used to sell momo on €3 for a plate. Right now, it's the fucking €12. What is this now?" And then, you know, then you will learn how to calculate the prices of food and stuff here, and in the Horeca sector here in Belgium, and the taxes and all the wages that I have to take out from my product. So I thought, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do it my own way, what I've learned, what I've experienced. I'm not gonna think about in a, how do you say, like in a Buddhist way, like I'm gonna give more and take less. No, I'm gonna give more and also take more. You know, I'm gonna make people experience the proper quality food, and also give a value on that food. And let's see how the business goes on. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't matter. It's okay. We tried, you know, and we are confident enough that it will go well. And so we were about to open a Belgian restaurant first, but then we thought, you know, like there are so many Belgian restaurants, and what is also something different in our family is that we belong from a minority that not many people knows, and I think advertising the Tibet cause and what Tibetans are, it's very important. And that's what I've been always doing it since I've started traveling. You know, I've always started telling people I'm Tibetan and stuff like that, giving them a little bit of knowledge. You know, I can't go take a gun and then, you know, shoot someone in China. I can at least share my life story to people, so that they will get the knowledge about this kind of people also exist in the world. You know, so we started doing it. You know, we put our flag outside. So the menu should be Tibetan way, and then stuff like that. But we're gonna adjust a little bit. We're not gonna adjust the taste of the food. We're gonna keep it as authentic as possible for the people to experience the proper Tibetan food. But what we're gonna adjust is that the hospitality, the service, what matches with the food, which drink, which beer. Of course, we'll live in one of the best beer country in the world. So I started doing like a little bit of research about like which beer goes well with this kind of taste of food, and which wine goes well with this kind of taste of food, you know, like those kind of things, those choices and stuff. And like I said, you will learn only by doing it. You cannot just wake up and say, okay, I'm gonna put this in the menu, I'm gonna do it. You will do something, you will learn something, get feedback from the customer, you will check other restaurants, you know, how they're doing it, and just go on. Then it will, you know, the book will come, like it's like a color book. You started filling up color, and it becomes like beautiful thing, picture.
That's a great point. Instead of just overthinking everything, trying to have the perfect plan.
Exactly.
No, it's better to do it and then get the feedback and adjust and keep moving forward and figuring out along the way. That's
Exactly.
how you did it.
Exactly.
Right.
Never lose. I think I've never lost. We never lose our like the core point of this restaurant is advertising Tibetan course, but also the hospitalities. These are our main rules. We're never gonna adjust on that one. However, if there's something like let's say the plate should be more warm, or like that those kind of things, we can always adjust on those kind of things, I think. Also, this restaurant is we don't advertise people only about the Tibet and its course. We are trying to give more the message about the immigrants Tibetan, having a background of a Tibetan Tibet as a Tibet, and then being born and brought up in India, and so like in different word, being born and brought up as a refugee in India. I never felt as a refugee in India because you had so much facilities given by the Tibetan government and Indian government, and then adjusting yourself in Europe. But then in our case, the food was like it always stayed with us. We were always into food and all. That's why our menu, I always tell customer that menu is actually like our story of our family. There you will find some Indian snacks and stuff, and then you'll find all this Tibetan food, and then you will find a lot of like Belgian beers, some wines, and some cocktails and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a story of our many Tibetan people.
Right. You do adjust, but the core stays the same.
Absolutely,
Our
yeah.
Tibetan culture, our authentic Tibetan food. And I remember when you first started,
Yeah.
and after a couple of months, I remember being very impressed by how you were doing this. All the decorations,
Yeah.
the cocktails, and all the Tibetan culture you show people, and how you make the menu, you telling your story in the menu itself. I thought, damn, that's what a lot of other Tibetan restaurants lack, in my opinion. I was really impressed, and I thought, damn, okay, I think you got this because of all the experience you had from coming from India to Belgium, but also doing the cabin crew work. You built all those knowledge and experiences, and I think because of that, you had this unfair advantage. You have a unique look, a unique,
Charisma.
obviously charisma, but the knowledge, the unfair advantage that the other people don't have.
Yeah.
And it was very unique, and I really loved it. I think I told you a couple of times that I really like the concept,
you.
and the food. Food is so good.
Thank
I
you.
always come here, eat momo, dump. The laughing is so good, and I also bring people who are from outside the city. From like last time, someone from China came. I brought her here, and she loved it. So I'm really impressed, man. You're doing
Thank you
really
so
good.
much. Thank you.
It's a great restaurant.
These are the rewarding, like for example, I always tell my staff that our restaurant is small, and of course it's we don't have a big budget like other big restaurants here. We cannot buy a golden spoon or golden knife, but we can speak gold from our mouth. That's for free, and that's when you can learn. You don't have to afford. So I always tell them hospitality attitude is what we are like famous for on Google's reviews and stuff. I always tell them 80% of our Google reviews are not about the food, also about the food, but also always there's a mention something about our hospitality, our service. That's something is very important that will bring people to us here, and that will make us different from other restaurants.
Hospitality, the service.
Yeah, man.
Right? People remember how you made them feel
Exactly.
in a restaurant. So the vibe here, the service, they all remember how they felt when they came to the restaurant. So that's something that other restaurants lack, and you're doing it very well.
Yeah. I think it's also the passion, you know, like when you're passionate about something, you never get tired of it. You always want to do something new. You always want to do like want to be the better one. You want to change something. You check the trend automatically. You keep searching on Reels, Instagram, and stuff like that. You know, that helps a lot. The passion.
That's a great point.
That's like a drive.
Right. Passion, like loving what you do is
Exactly.
something very important.
It's
If you don't like what you do, and if it's taking too long, you will give up. But because you love what you do, you have this passion, you keep going, you keep learning.
Absolutely, man.
That's a great point.
I never like imagine like or like tell myself like I want to own a restaurant, or I want to be a businessman, or I want to work like this, I want to do like that, you know. I always manifested it. I was tell myself like I am already a manager, I am already a businessman. I'm gonna do it. I am doing it because I have this in my blood.
Right.
Since my childhood days, you know, like where I can do this, you know. And making a lot of mistakes in the past, and you know, how do you handle those mistakes also gave me this form of you know, not being scared of making mistakes, taking risks and stuff. Sometimes it's quite I would say like not that good, because you know, I became kind of a person like, you know, I want to do it, I'll just do it. But sometimes you have to check all the other sides of that thing, like is it really suitable for us or not? Stuff like that.
Right.
That comes with the maturity, I think. Like right now, I'm more into like if I have to spend some money or invest something on something, I'm always checking all the other stuffs, you know, like technical stuffs and stuff. Before that, I like you asked me like 2-3 years back, I would be like, okay, just do it, you know, like just take it, you know, buy it. What else? What happens? Now you always take a step back, you know.
Right. So I'm sure you faced challenges starting a restaurant. It's not easy.
Wow,
right?
man. First year I worked without loan, without wage, you know.
Yeah.
Whole
you
year.
told me, yeah.
Yeah, I worked without wage, you know. It's not easy, you know, like earning that much money as a cabin crew before, and then suddenly there's nothing coming plus on your bank. You're surviving literally with the tips, you know, and thanks to the tips, and it was really kind, generous, you know, people. I could even travel a little bit with the tips. I went to Portugal,
Right.
stuff, and then, but you know, so those are the risks that I could take. Fortunately, because of my family support, I could stay with them and stuff. And I would say like a learning phase. It was like a training for me, the first year, and then from second, third year, it started booming, and then and now I'm not very scared of like something might happen, because many worse things had already happened.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You persisted. Now you know what you've dealt with, all the challenges. You're confident enough to know what to do if the challenges come again. And it's a beautiful thing. I like it. It's a family business. You're working with your mom and dad. It's something very beautiful, and you're sharing, you know, the Tibetan culture. I love the quotes from His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, right.
The pictures.
Exactly. Being Tibetan, we have to, I think, like His Holiness always said on his speech, our core goal is not only to be like belonging from one country, like as a Tibetan, but also we are Buddhist, and the compassion, and this is our religion, and spreading that is actually also one core value of our being. I think being a Tibetan. And also being in grew up in Tibetan school, we've learned those things in our school every day.
Right.
We start our day with the prayers, assemblies, you know, like thought of the days and stuff like that.
Yeah.
End up our day with the prayers and stuff. and I mean the meaning behind those things, why they are doing it, and why they're putting in the routine for the hostel. I get it right now, you know, like came very late, but I get it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would
Same
make the
here.
same rule for my kids as well, I think.
Same here, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true.
And
Yeah.
also, like I said, working with a family and those things that impresses you, I would say it's not easy working with family. Very hard in terms of business when it comes to the business, you know, especially in a restaurant. And during the service time, the peak of service time, it's everybody is like their head is really warm. They're shouting with each other and stuff like that. You know, it's so natural. And I think it's also you're growing not only as a business in a business, but you're also growing as a human. I think here, like the first years, it was very hard to work with the family. You know, I always felt like I'm expected to do so many things, but I cannot do it, and I'm always letting them down. You know, there's so many burdens on my shoulder. Like it's too heavy for me. I can't do this, and that emotional thing that drains me a lot, keeps me so many times alone, you know, like that was very hard for me. But afterward, you know, I came to learn something that, you know, let's don't look your colleague, your parents as a parents, but as a colleague then when you're working. So when if you look at that way and you consider yourself as the boss of this business, these colleagues are working from their heart. They will do everything right. Their intention is the best intention, even better than other people, the one who's getting paid. You know. But then once the shift is finished, they are my parents.
Right.
I love them. You know, we are family. We did a great job together. That's it. You know and that helps me to be the one who's like, you know, I'm angry a little bit in the kitchen, but at the same time I play with them again. Because that anger and that stuff doesn't stay very long in my mind, because if you work as a like a boss or something like that, like if you have this mindset, you always have this feeling of, you know, I want to keep my colleague happy so that the work flows. So that helps me a little bit, you know.
Okay. Are there any other advice you would give to someone who also is wanting to start a restaurant?
I would say, you know, I think like if you want to open a restaurant or something like that, I'm sure your decision is made because of some like knowledge or some real values that you have seen in yourself. You're not gonna say like you wake up tomorrow and then, oh, I'm gonna open a restaurant. No. Even though it's easy to open a restaurant nowadays if you have some money, you know. I think the experience is very important, very, very important, and not just experience in one restaurant, experience in different kind of restaurants, different styles, because the one you're gonna do it, you're gonna open it, it's gonna be all on yourself, like from the salt till the you know, till the broom or till the product of cleaning, you know, like you have to decide everything one by one by yourself. How you're gonna plate the food, how you're gonna present that to customer, how you're gonna welcome that customer. It's all on you. So I think the knowledge is very important, experience is very important. I would say the knowledge about the food, and then also not only about the food, the social being, so like socializing with people, and also about the money. Knowledge about money is so important in business.
Finance.
Yeah, it's not easy. You know, like so those kind of knowledges are very important, I think. Some of the stuff, you know, nowadays you can just pay and then get things done. For example, like marketings and then the HR or like you know, like those websites, the technical stuff like that. You can pay the people and then let them do it. You know. But the other things, the major things like finance and all this thing of the business is very important. You really have to have it in your mind. Otherwise, I would say take more experiences, try to take more responsibility where you're working right now, and then if you feel it, just do it. Then you fail, no worry, Do it again. You fail, no worry, do it again. And do it until you dream about it. Once you're not dreaming it anymore, then don't do it then. Do something else. And don't be scared of doing something else. There are plenty of other things, man.
Right.
Yeah.
You have shared a lot of good life lessons. I want to know what's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Like I said, like the show must go on. That's one of the best advice that I've got. You know, it helped me a lot to deal with so many things, even in my relationship right now. Like even if I've a little bit argued with my girlfriend, the main goal in my mind is always set like it's to stay together, to stick with each other, you know. And because of that goal, what I'm gonna do is gonna be different than what I'm gonna do because of that fight. So you know, that keeps you bouncing back again and again until the wall breaks and then you achieve your goal.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
Talking about that, how does it feel to almost get married?
So excited. I would say I start with excited, so happy, you know, like oh, it's coming finally. It's like a big step in my life, knowing the meaning of a marriage and the relationship. And then choosing the person again and again for all these things. Imagining that person with yourself for entire life, and it's very beautiful, I would say. In my case, it's not about you know, it's this kind of thing is not about like choosing. It's not about like comparing people or looking to other people all the time. It's more about like growing yourself. I'm growing myself, you know. Like a maturity is coming, things like that, you know. Like I've imagined before a long time ago. Like I want to travel the world a little bit, and then I want to settle down. So it's happening, you know.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
We are going to India for your wedding soon.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely, gonna prepare some dance.
I'm so bad at dance.
Oh,
I'm sure you will kill it.
God. Yeah, I'm sure you will dance for sure.
All right. I really appreciate your time. Thank you
man.
for
Thank
sharing
you.
your story and the
Thank you so much.
insights.
Thank you.
Where can you tell them a little bit about your restaurant and where they can find it?
Okay. So we are located in Bruges, not far from very center. We are actually in the center, not far from the ring. And the street is known for like a place for local people to eat and enjoy. And and our restaurant will pop up straight with a lot of color and redness in our restaurant. The name of the restaurant is Ama, Tibetan Mom's Kitchen. You don't experience only the Tibetan food, you experience the Tibetan how do you say, like a story of an immigrant of Tibetan, and then our background, which is quite very interesting, I think, for many people. And then quality is the biggest priority for us. So we can surely guarantee that you will get the best quality of the food.
So true. I love the food here, and just the whole experience of dining here. So good. I would highly recommend it. I'll put all the links in the description below.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jangchup. I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you so much.